Hello internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Christian Couture. And today is day 6 of our Vlogmas series, and we are going to do a color inspired by the Grinch. So it's going to be called Merry Grinchmas, and there's a little bit of Cindy Lou Who speckled here. And I really like it, so it's more inspired by the cartoon rather than the Jim Carrey version. I really like the Jim Carrey version, however, I wanted to go back to the roots of Dr. Seuss and all that. So... And for small business opportunity, fiber lovers, and all that, I just wanted to share another. I know it's another bag, but this one is really cool. So you can put it like this, and you can knit or crochet and walk as you're going this. So this is from Jésabelle, and she's based in Montreal, I believe. So I really like this bag. I usually have this with me when I'm doing markets, depending on the project that I work with. Like right now, I've been working with project that needs 2 skeins at a time, and I just don't like having more than 1 skeins to work in a bag at the same time. So anyways, and I also use it sometimes on the treadmill when I want to do steps and knit. But you can also do it with crochet or Tunisian crochet. It doesn't have to be knits to use this beautiful bag, and it's really well made. She also has options that are smaller or bigger. So let's get into today's episode. Welcome back. So we're going to do another color in the winter collection. So this is another brand new color. We're going to do a color that I'm calling Merry Grinchmas, because it's going to be inspired by the Grinch and Cindy Lou Who, because it's honestly, it's one of my favorite Christmas movie that I really love watching. Yes, we do watch the original one and the one with Jim Carrey, but the recent one with Benedict Cumberbatch is just very, I love the vibe of that movie. So the first thing we're going to do is do my stock solution. I'm only going to be doing 1 stock solution because the Cindy Lou Who color will be speckled, basically. And before doing anything, just make sure that your scale is at 0 before doing anything. And before doing anything else, before opening the jars, you need to make sure that you have a respirator that will protect your lungs, because we only have 1 pair of lungs, so please protect them. Make sure that it's a respirator that will prevent you from breathing any fine particles. So it doesn't have to be my specific mask, but it does have to be a mask that will protect your lungs from breathing in any fine particles. Perfect. Okay, so let's add the water. Perfect. Okay, so now that the powder is no longer in dry powder form, we can remove the mask. Please don't drink that as well. Don't breathe and don't drink it, basically. It is not for human consumptions. Okay, so we're gonna go into the pan now. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to be adding the citric acid into the pan, and the rule of thumb is usually 1 tablespoon per pound, so 454 grams. So it would be 1 teaspoon per 1 teaspoon per skein of yarn that we would do. So perfect. And I'm going to be using a 100% superwash merino wool, and it's on a worsted weight. So I'm just going to do... Okay. So I think I had some clumps of... Is it dry powder? It doesn't look like dry powder. I think it looks like citric acid, which can happen. Okay, let's add the skeins. Okay. Did I turn on the heat? Yes. Okay. Where are my gloves? Right here. So, I'm going to let the color strike the yarn. Oh, I need to. Those gloves are dirty. Good thing I did that. Good thing that I did that. Okay, so I'm going to let the color strike the yarn before doing anything with it. So, there we go. So we are going to wait like 15 minutes before doing anything else, and I will see you then. Okay, let's see what we have here. Okay. That's looking good. So I'm just going to remove the skeins so we can expose the insides of the skeins that haven't really touched much of the color yet. So, and then we'll be able to start our speckling. Perfect. Just readjust to make sure that they're all equal in here. Looks good. So now we can do the speckles. But before doing anything else, what should we grab? If your answer was a respirator that prevents you from breathing foreign particles, you are correct. So we only have one pair of lungs and we need to protect them. And now let's do the speckle. And remember, when you are speckling, you want to have as much control as possible of where your pigment is going. So what you would do is just make sure that you grab your fingers like this, like a cricket, so that you have a good control over where the powder will go. There's other ways that you can speckle. This is my favorite way of doing it. You could use a salt shaker or a pepper shaker to do this. Personally, I feel like I have more control when I'm doing by hand like this. So it really depends on what you want to do and how you want to do it, and go from there. You could also have basically use citric acid, mix it with your dry powder, and just like speckle the citric acid, because it's usually a little bit bigger than your dry powder. So there's a lot of options that you can do. So now I can see that some bubbles are forming. So we want our water to be between 85 to 95 Celsius. So it is just below the boiling point, but we don't want it to go past the boiling point. So once we've reached that and we have all the colors that we want, so we have the layer of green, we have all the speckles, we're going to be able to do 30 minutes on the clock. And that when there we go. So there we go. So after the 30 minutes, we're going to come back, see if we have any pockets of color that need to be struck or absorbed by the yarn. And then we will most likely turn off the heat and let it dry completely before washing off any excess dye. And when we're speckling, we do want to make sure that we do a thorough wash after, because sometimes there is little clumps of dry powder that happens. It happens sometimes. And if we have those clumps, sometimes, very rarely, it will stay in on the yarn. And when you're knitting, like, you will have that clump there, and we don't want that. So see you in 30 minutes. Okay, let's look at this. So it seems like we're good, and even the pink doesn't have pockets of colors, which I'm happy with. So it means that we can turn off the heat and let it completely cool off before we're going to be washing off any excess dye. So in this situation, since we've been doing some speckling, it's going to be important to be thorough to make sure that we don't miss any dry powder clumps, because sometimes it happens that we will have a little bit clumps of dry powder here and there, and we don't want that. So we're going to be a little bit more thorough for that. So I will see you when it's time to wash off the dye. Okay, let's wash off the excess dye from Merry Grinchmas. So I am expecting some bleeding when it comes to the green that we've used for this. The speckle, not that much, because I have good results when it comes to the pink we've chosen for the speckles. It's really the green. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it soak for like 10 minutes, and we're going to come back and see what's up. If there is any grain transfer onto the white portion, I wouldn't be too worried about it, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Okay, what do we look like now? Huh. I don't think we have any bleeding. Amazing! Oh, I love when I have good surprises like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this in my spin dryer, and then we're going to let it dry overnight, and I will see you tomorrow for the final results. Bye! And here's the final result for our Merry Grinchmas color. As you can see, we have different depth of greens over here with our pink speckles, and that's absolutely adorable. I really love it. For me, it really represents like old school cartoon Grinch, and not necessarily the newer one with Jim Carrey, which I still really love the Jim Carrey version. So it's really more in the spirit of the original cartoon from the Dr. Seuss. So that's what we've got here. And the pink is really for Cindy Lou Who, because she's adorable and we need her in our lives. So I hope you've liked the video, and if you did, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you next one very soon. Bye!